Hi everyone, Big Scribe here, and I am back with another book review. This time I am reviewing The Upside of Unrequited by Becky Albertalli. This came in the, not May, but April? Yeah, April Owl Crate. And it just came out a couple months ago, I believe, and it is amazing. And I was a little skeptical. Y'all know me, I'm more into fantasy and paranormal type stuff, and that's normally what I gravitate towards and read. I don't read a lot of contemporary YA literature. I'm more into stuff like Throne of Glass and A Court of Thorns and Roses and stuff like that. That's my type of reading material right there. But this caught me by surprise. I figured I would read it because, I bought the box, I might as well read it because otherwise it's a waste of money. So, I wanted to check it out, and after reading it, I have to admit, I'm probably going to buy her first book, it's Simon versus the Homo Sapien Agenda. I really think I might buy that, because this book, seriously good. First of all, just look at the cover. How beautiful is that cover? Isn't that a cute cover? And if you pay close attention, it actually explains that little smiley emoji. It's like a very subtle explanation, but it kind of explains why that's a big deal. And the story is so good, and it really spoke to my heart because, y'all know I'm overweight. And the story is about this girl who is overweight, has never been with a boy in her entire... Watson, I cannot play right now. My dog's trying to play with me in the middle of a review. This girl's been overweight, has never been with a boy, has never had a relationship, never been kissed, nothing. She's only ever had crushes on boys, and she's never even been able to work up the courage to talk to them. So, she's had like 26 crushes throughout her entire life. She's 17 years old, and she just wants to fall in love. Well, her sister, who is her twin, well, not like identical twins, they're like fraternal twins, or however you say that. But, her sister falls in love and starts this relationship, and they start to drift apart, and it really messes with her because her sister was like the only person she really had that she knew was there for her no matter what, all the time. So she felt alone and confused and sad and broken. And that we all can relate to that. We all have those moments when our friends and our family start to drift apart because relationships and life in general, it's just what happens. Well, she's starting to see this happening, that they're starting to grow apart and their lives are going in different directions, and it's really breaking her heart. Well, her sister gets the idea to set her up with her girlfriend's best friend. And Will is like this kind of suave, sexy, hipster, edgy type. And he seems like a cool guy. And at first, I kind of suspected that he would do something really bad to her and would really hurt her. But he actually turns out to be a pretty sweet character. You gotta read the book. I'm not gonna spoil it for you. You gotta read it to find out what happens. But the story is about them trying to hook her up with this one guy, while in reality she's falling for someone completely different. And for most of the book, she doesn't even realize that she's falling for this other person because he's definitely not what she would expect, But the way she sees herself, I felt very connected to. I felt like I was hearing words that I had thought before, and, well, reading words that I thought before, but it's basically, she doesn't like her body, she doesn't think she's beautiful, she's never been told she was attractive, she doesn't think she has anything to offer anybody in any relationship, so she doesn't see why anybody would ever want her. And, I kind of identify with that, and I understand where she was coming from, and it's very difficult for someone who's overweight to have positive body image. But let me just say that no matter your size, you're beautiful inside. And that's something you should always remember. That your creator made you just the way He made you. And you are beautifully and fearfully made. That's something you've got to remember. The one downside I had to the book is there is a lot of homosexual feel to the book. There's the two moms who are lesbians, and there's the sister who's in a homosexual relationship. I don't agree with it. Doesn't mean I'm going to hate on the book. It doesn't take away from the story at all. I mean, actually, it kind of adds to it a little bit. But I mean, just for me, from a faith perspective, it just kind of turned me away from the book a bit. But I have to admit that the book was still pretty good, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I am going to read her other book. And I mean, if it's as good as this one, then I know I'm going to love it. And I really hope this becomes a movie, because I would totally watch this. And you guys really need to check it out. I think you would enjoy it. But the cool thing is with Owlcrate, if you've never been a part of Owlcrate, it's a monthly book subscription box that you get a signed book or a signed book plate, and it's usually a newly released book, and it's always YA. And you also get a letter from the author in it too. So see, I got my signed book plate by Becky Albertalli. I'm definitely going to treasure this book. This is going to stay in my collection for years to come. But I'm going to go ahead and read y'all the letter. I read it in my unboxing, but I want to read it again to go along with this review, just because I thought it was so beautiful. Dear reader, every book you write teaches you something new. Here's what I learned while writing The Upside of Unrequited. Writing your second book is ridiculously hard. Basically, nothing about my process with Simon versus the Homo sapiens agenda came over. The story fought me every step of the way. I'm glad I fought back. It's hard to describe the experience of writing a book about a girl named Molly, and then halfway through the drafting process, losing the woman she was named for. I wrote the name Molly 165 times in Upside, and after my grandma died, every single one felt like a bruise, but in a way, it kept her with me. It's amazing what happens when you spend hours combing through pictures of plus-size models on Pinterest and Instagram. Totally part of my process, and not at all a form of procrastination. Yeah, right. I know about procrastination. I'm a writer too, just saying. You start to feel like your body just might be okay. You start to realize that fat bodies are beautiful too. People rarely talk about being a late bloomer, or a non-bloomer, or a worried you'll never bloom bloomer, or a WTF does blooming even mean bloomer. Sometimes it seems like things are happening to everyone but you. Maybe you're the last one to kiss someone, or have sex, or have a crush. Maybe you don't want to. Maybe you don't want to. Maybe you don't want to, or if you don't want to kiss someone or have a crush. No matter what, please know that you are not alone, not even close. This book is my heart in your hands. I hope it makes you feel seen. Love, Becky. When I first read that, I cried. But I've got to go. God bless y'all. Enjoy.